So, today I am gonna go through some Reddit things. It is 20 minutes before 9 p.m. I am gonna try not to stay up too late today, even though I can, and so I'm also gonna be shortening my recording here. Keep grinding. Shout out to my past self for putting in the work to get me where I am right now. And to my future self, I'm working, I'm grinding. I got this, I got you. The first documented gold found in the United States was discovered by 12-year-old John Reed, who pulled a 17-pound gold nugget from a North Carolina creek. Unsure of the substance, Reed's family used the nugget as a doorstop for several years before selling it to a jeweler for $3.50. I do actually wanna. What is 17 pound? Fucking 7.71 kilograms. That's insane. An insane amount. I do wonder what is. Let's just say 8 kilograms. 8 kilograms gold price. Gold price per kilo. Goldprice.org. So apparently, gold, US dollar, kilogram. Why is this so confusing? I just wanna. So is it 59? I'm never quite sure. I think it is 59k per kilogram, which means let's just pick 66 times 8, which is $500,000 fucking dollars. By now, I don't know if back in the days it's been more or less. I really am quite unsure now, but anyway. Let's see what, or if we can find a bit more in the Get Motivated subreddit. The ship is safest when it is in port, but that is not what ships were built for. By Paulo Coelho, the author of so many books, I guess, but there is one in particular, but I always forget about that. Anyway. Just a simple reminder to keep pushing forward, stay on track and be positive no matter what kind of rough spot you're in mentally, physically, emotionally. It's all temporary. Don't be hard on yourself. Avoid certain people to protect your emotional health. What? Avoiding certain people to protect your emotional health is not weakness, it's wisdom. Well, by the way, very important thing that I'm actually encountering that, and it's strange to some degree, but I've been doing so as well for a set period of time, and I was always debating with myself whether I should actually cut this person out and not talk to this person and just don't have anything to do with this person, because I've understood and I've seen and I've gotten to know that it is hurting me extremely. The relationship and or the time that I'm spending with this person, and the interactions and so on and so forth. And then I said to myself, no, I don't want to cut anybody out. I don't know exactly what I said to myself. Might actually be somewhat like, okay, I don't want to be weak. But I think in the end, I did it to some degree. But getting back to it again and then so on and so forth. But it really helped me just not being in contact with this person. Even though it is strange to say, and it's also been strange back in the days, but I think at this point it is even more strange. And especially when I think about me in my past, let's call it 2 years ago, and thinking about that. Like, that would be insane. They really would. Somebody that once meant quite everything to me, then suddenly, suddenly is maybe a bit overdone, but just not meaning anything to me anymore, and actually hurting me so much that I think about cutting this person out, and I've never ever done that, at least not consciously. Maybe I did it subconsciously, maybe I've avoided people, but I've never been in this position. I've actually been tremendously fortunate to quite always be around people that are amazing and that didn't harm me in any kind of way. People, like really decent people. I've always been around decent people, and I've always had friends being decent people. Of course, we all have certain characteristics that other people might not like in us, and we maybe ourselves don't like in us. But I've always been around people that were good to me and that really, meant a lot to me. Maybe now as I'm thinking about it more, just because I didn't think about it back in the days. But I think at some point one really has to cut out certain people to stay happy. And I don't know, like, you can do your best to save a relationship and to get around difficulties and so on and so forth. But in the end, one also has to realize when it's done and when one can't go forward and also not backward. And the only solution is to step out of that circle and step out of the whole situation, which is by quote unquote cutting out that person, which is a tremendously tough saying of, okay, let's just keep a distance from one and another. There are people less qualified than you doing the things you want to do simply because they decide to believe in themselves. Period. Let go of the illusion that it could have been any different. Yes. The thing is, like, what would have happened if, what if I just did this? What if I had done this? What if I, whatever? Like, yes, potentially might have led to a certain outcome, but you could have also died by doing this certain thing, because maybe all of a sudden a fucking bus hit you, and so on and so forth. Like, in the end, being okay, I should have done this, I should have done that. Like, not so sure about that. Really not. Like, the chance is always there that something unexpected might have happened. Maybe a fucking, thunderstorm pulling up and killing you. Yeah. I mean it. I really do mean it. There are some things you can't do very well. There are some things you're incredibly good at. There's only one way to find out which is which. By trying it and by doing things. Allow yourself to be pulled by your heart instead of pushing your way through a thick fog of shoulds. So often we discredit the things that come naturally because we have bought into the idea that success needs to be difficult, or that if something comes easily to us, it must come easily to everyone, and therefore isn't worth pursuing in any serious sort of way. Very interesting, not gonna lie, and also very helpful, And I think, I find it incredibly useful saying, okay, being successful doesn't necessarily have to be hard, I think one can make things hard and tough and, quite in the end, unnecessarily. And I don't know, like, I think it always depends on the position that you're in, but one also have to be really, 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 really honest to oneself. Like, am I doing enough? Obviously, we all could quite do more. Putting every single fucking ounce and every single fucking minute into something is possible. If it is the smartest thing, if it is a good long-term thing, that's just, we're not talking about that now. But one could put more into whatever the fuck one is doing. And when I think about a podcast, I do know that I could do way more. I could do way of a better job. I could do, I don't know. But then in the end, I also think about I need to have a balance. I need to have a balance of, okay, I record, which is something that I like, but I just don't want to edit, which is something that I dislike and don't want to do. So, is it wrong then to not edit as much as I could? It's difficult. It really is, because one could always come up with certain reasons why something is smarter than something else. One could really talk him or herself into something, which is difficult then to in the end see whether something is smart to do, whether something should be done in a different way, yada, yada, yada. But difficult. You don't need to work that hard. You just need to keep going. Discussion. My friend sent me this and I thought it was worth sharing with you all. A lot of the posts here motivate users to say, get fit by working out or creating something. It's usually accompanied by someone giving it their all. Sometimes I find that a little daunting. I've been working out for years, and honestly, I don't work out that hard. I grunt and put some effort in for the 30 seconds that make up every set, but I never collapse in a sweating pile or vomit. I wait until I'm fully rested before the next one. Same things with the things I create. I take regular breaks, I go slow, never try to do too much at once. Yet I get results. I get good, consistent results. There is no law that says everything great was done in a slew of extreme effort. The important thing is to cover your bases. If it is working out, keep the diet consistently when you need it. If it's creating something, just make sure that If it's creating something, just make sure that the day you take off doesn't become a week. You don't need to go full effort, but you do not need to keep working at it consistently across days. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. In fact, more often than not, so long as you get started, you'll naturally find yourself in a flow state of giving it your all. But it doesn't mean you have to force that state upon yourself. It's worth remembering that. I would say so as well, actually. This totally works when money isn't involved. Sometimes you actually do need to work harder. Yes, and this comes back to, what I've been talking about just before. Is it enough that you're doing? Could you do more? Could you do better? And so on and so forth. Incredibly, incredibly, incredibly important to just be honest when it comes to that. And but it is difficult, not gonna lie. It's difficult to say, okay, I'm not doing enough and I should do more. It's especially when it's about being comfortable and so on and so on. But yeah, also in terms of work, me and my job, I thought about it and I don't know, yeah, I think that this is gonna be a separate video one day, but in the meantime, wish you the best. Please stay safe and healthy. Keep your fucking mask on, wear it, use it, and get vaccinated if you can, I guess. So yeah, and test it, by the way. Gonna see you soon. Bye bye.